Okay, today we're going to talk about retirement accounts. Starting early, starting big. Use them now and start now. Okay, the definitions we're going to need through the video are: number one, retirement account. It's a special account, similar to a bank account, that has tax benefits. That's why you use a retirement account, because of the tax benefits. The term fiduciary, a financial advisor that has a legal obligation to put your interests first. The Roth IRA. It is an individual retirement account with no taxes when the money is taken out. 401k or a 401b. These are large yearly retirement accounts available to some private employees, usually teachers, and some nonprofits. And the term matching. Free money that private companies give to their employees to reward 401k use by the employees. A couple main things that I want to hit on before we go into the details. Now, these are, I would say, the most important things to absolutely know right now. There is a maximum limit for contributions per year. So you can't go over the maximum limit per account type. And you can't put in for past years. So if you miss 1 year, you can't put in double the next year. This is a use it or lose it system. So the longer you don't put in per year, you can't make up those years. It rewards those who start early, and it rewards those who start big. The next thing is retirement accounts are long-term. They are not for stock trading that you see advertised from companies. Okay? Retirement accounts have a very specific plan that the financial advisors do, and almost every financial advisor has the same plan, and they are long-term plans. They are not what you see advertised on TV. Retirement accounts and using them are so simple and so straightforward. Almost a universal truth for 20s and 30-year-olds. You want the Roth individual retirement account. That's what you want to use, unless your company has what's called matching. Matching is better than everything else. And if there's no matching, usually you want to fill your Roth first. And of course, there are options for self-employed people. So there are fine option retirement accounts for self-employed people. There's different types for, say, specialty types for military. And there's sometimes specialty types for government workers. And some states have specialty types of retirement accounts for those without a 401k. Everyone gets their individual retirement account if they want it. So let me go over a can't go wrong quick guide. Okay, like this might not be the maximum benefit for your situation, but this is a straight out can't go wrong. Okay, find yourself a financial advisor, whether it's private or through a bank or credit union. You get yourself a financial advisor and you make sure they're a fiduciary. They have your best interest at heart. The maximum you're going to pay is 2% of your account per year in fees. You don't need to go above that. Some are less, some are more. The maximum is about 2%. You'll use a Roth IRA unless your job has a 401k with matching, and then you'll use the matching first, and then you'll use the Roth IRA. You put in the most you can per year, the most you can scrimp and save and put in. You have your financial advisor invest in aggressive investments. You're young. The investments won't go to zero. Well, you never want them to invest in things that'll go to zero. That's too risky. But you do want them to invest in aggressive investments. They might take wild swings. They might be down for 2 years and then skyrocket up for 3 years, then go down and up. But on average, because we're long-term, over the course of 40 years, those investments will make about 7% per year. So you don't want to be conservative. You want to be aggressive when you're young. You want your investments to be diversified. Many different investment types, some in real estate, some in U.S. companies, some in world companies. You want it diversified. You want to stay away from all-in-one funds. Those are mutual funds that does the diversification for you. You want to stay away from them because you can do that yourself. I can take 10 minutes and show you how to do it yourself. The only reason you're doing a financial advisor is to take advantage of their actual knowledge. If you hire a financial advisor just to buy you one all-in-one investment fund, why are you with them? Because you can do that yourself. And finally, you dollar cost average. You automatically put money into your account and buy your investments once a month or twice a month. You don't do it once a year. You don't do it twice a year. You do it every month, or you do it twice a month. That way, if the market crashes, like literally, if the market crashes, you'll put some money in when it crashes, and then that money will go up. If your market spikes up, you'll put a little money in, and then if it goes down, it's only a little. If the market spikes up, and that's where you put it in for a year, and then it goes down, so that's no good. What you do is you just average it. If the market's up, you're putting a little money in. If the market's down, you're putting a little money in. It's called dollar cost averaging. So here's how a typical conversation would go, okay? You're meeting with a financial advisor. Remember, you're hiring them. There's tons of financial advisors out there, so you're hiring them. Do not be afraid to go somewhere else. There are literally over 20 to 30 different places to go to in your local area, okay? So here's your basically thing. Hello, I'd like to open a Roth IRA account with you. Do you do that? If they say no, go somewhere else. They say yes. And then you say, are you a fiduciary? If they say no, don't even listen to their excuse. Go somewhere else. Don't listen. You need a fiduciary. What are your yearly fees for managing the accounts? It should be 2% or less. It should be 2% or less, and that's acceptable. And then you tell them, I would like to be diversified in aggressive investments. They'll know what that means, and they'll say, of course, because they can do it. You say, I would like to contribute automatically from my bank account twice a month. The answer has to be yes. If they don't represent a company that can do that, then find someone else. At least you could do once a month. But if they say no, then find someone else. Then you ask them, are you going to use an all-in-one fund, such as Target Retirement Fund? Don't tell them what you think about it, just ask the question. Don't tell them what you want, because let them answer it, so then that's how you know. If they say yes, you walk away. If they say no, that's the appropriate answer. You say, why don't you use them? What do you do differently? Or ask them, why don't you like them? And they should have good reasons. Their reasons should be something like, they don't trust the people who manage them. They should say that they can do better. They should say that their experience is better than those Target retirement funds. They might even say one of the best reasons is because you don't need them for that. You can do it yourself free. So they should say, well, you don't need me for that. I would be taking your money for something you can do for free. They should also say they can do better than the Target retirement, and they should say that they offer something more than those funds. And if they say they're just going to use some sort of all-in-one fund, just walk away. Figure, you can learn in 10 minutes how to use an all-in-one fund for free by yourself. So that's the quick can't go wrong guide, okay? It's not for everyone, but it's for most people where you can't go wrong, okay? So if you're looking for that, that's where it is. Let's go into how retirement accounts work before we go into a few of the details. Now, here's how it works to try to get this idea into your brain, okay? Companies house your account, okay? So like you tell a company you want a Roth IRA, individual retirement account, and they set one up, okay? So they house your account, just like you have a bank account at a bank. There's a special account set up with a company, could be a bank, could be a brokerage, could be a financial advisor, whatever. You've got your accounts. And it's like an account, like a bank account. You put money in, you tell that money what to do, okay? So once the money goes into the account, it shows up in your account as cash, okay? And then you can direct your financial advisor or you direct the company to turn that cash and buy investments. So you can keep the money in cash in your account and it doesn't do nothing. You could invest in things called bonds and it'll get an interest return per year, probably. You can invest in things called CDs and it'll get a guaranteed interest return per year. These are too low. You don't do those when you're young. You can use that money to buy stocks and then the stocks are in your account, okay? That's the stock market, individual companies. Now you can buy things called mutual funds. They're just a bunch of stocks put together. You buy one mutual fund and you're getting pieces of 100 stocks. You could buy things called ETFs. They're just like mutual funds, except a little different. So basically what I'm trying to say is your cash in your retirement account, you use it to buy other things in your retirement account, and they're in your account. And you buy those things, you hold those things, you sell those things, and it makes you money yearly, or it makes you money when you sell, or it loses money when you sell. It's all basically investing. And financial advisors know how to do it. You don't know how to do it yet, but you could learn. Generally, the money in that account stays in the account. You can buy and sell things, but the cash, the bonds, the stocks, they all stay in there. And if you sell stocks, it goes into cash. It stays in there until you're 59 and a half. When you're roughly 59 and a half, you can take money out penalty free. So retirement accounts are designed for the money to stay in there. Well, that seems like it's a bad thing. It's okay because there's benefits to it. The money grows tax free. I can't tell you how good this is. In a regular account, if you make $100 per year, the government taxes it at about 15% or more. Every year, the government takes the money out of your regular account because you made money. In a retirement account, the government never taxes the growth year to year to year to year. How important is that? It's really important. It'll give your money an extra doubling or two doublings over the course of your life. It is unbelievably important. The fact that a money in retirement account grows tax-free is essential. It means you have to use a retirement account. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. And because it's so good, there's a limit to what you can put in per year. The government says you can only put in a certain amount because otherwise everyone would put in everything to their retirement account because it's such a good deal. And it even gets better. There are tax breaks for saving. Not just does the money grow tax-free, the money either gives you extra money at the time you put it in, so you don't pay money at the time you put it into your account, you don't pay taxes, or you don't take taxes on all the growth when you take it out. So you not only get the growth is tax-free and the government can't tax it, it also gives you a tax break either at the beginning or the end. It is the best accounts ever created. There's no other account better. And that's why you can only put a certain amount in per year. Okay, and now we're going to get into some of the details. The details you don't have to know because I've already given you the no-fail way, Roth IRA with all the directions, okay? But these details will allow you to understand other options out there and just more knowledge. Okay, so there are actually two different kinds of individual retirement accounts. They are for every worker. Every single person who gets a paycheck can have their very own retirement accounts, okay? You can put into up to $6,000 per year with qualifications. I don't need to go into those, but the maximum is going to be $6,000 per year. Every worker can do it. There is no matching. It's your own. There's no matching from any company or anything like that. And you have complete control. You and your financial advisor, or just you, decide exactly what to invest in, when, and how. And there are two types. There's a Roth and a traditional, and I'll talk about the difference later. Now, you may have heard of a retirement account called a 401k. And there's something called a 403b, which is basically for teachers and some other nonprofits. So we're just going to call it a 401k. This isn't not available for everyone. Some businesses offer a 401k. Most teacher schools offer a 403b. Okay, but not everyone can have a 401k. If you do, you can put into up to $19,500 per year. That's a lot. So there's a big advantage. If you really want to put away into retirement accounts per year, you can go $6,000 into your individual, and then you have another $19,500. That's the biggest benefit of 401k is you can just dump money into it and get all that benefit of tax-free stuff. Sometimes companies give you free money. You put in a certain amount, they put in a certain amount too. This is called matching, and it's the best thing in retirement accounts. It's better than anything else. If there's a 401k and your company says we match, you maximize it as much as possible, as fast as possible, because nothing beats free money. Nothing. Now, sometimes a company will control the 401k and make investments for you. Sometimes you are free to make your own investments. That is a limitation because you don't have ultimate individual control. But remember, nothing is better than matching. So if your company's matching, you obviously use it, even if they control the investments, because matching wins. Otherwise, self-complete control wins. Now remember, even though the 401k is attached to a company, it is always yours. That money is always yours. What you do, because it's your account, even though they're controlling it, if you leave the company, you take it with you. You roll it over to your own thing. Okay? So it doesn't have to stay with your company. It literally is still yours. It's not a pension plan. It's yours. They may control it, but you can take it with you. And I suggest you do if you lose your job or go somewhere else. Let's talk about some ideas of that graph right there, or that picture. Number one, you can do both an IRA and a 401k or 403b. So if you happen to be in a company with a 401k or 403b, you can literally put away $25.5 thousand a year. That's a lot if you're able to figure out how to do that early in your 20s or your early 30s. Unbelievable. You start doing that for 5 years. Wow. You can have many different IRAs with different companies, but there is a total limit of $6,000 per year. Okay. Same thing with 401ks if you work for 2 different companies. The maximum you can put into to all your 401ks is $19,500 per year, and the maximum you can put in to your IRAs is $6,000 per year. Even if you have 2 or 3 different IRAs, Roths with different companies, with different financial advisors. Those limits go up every 2, 3, 5 years because of inflation. Now, for younger people in their 20s, this rule is almost always true. The best deal is to put into your 401k if there's matching, up to the matching amount. Okay, so however much you have to put in to get the maximum match, you do. That's your best deal. And then the second best deal is your Roth. So maybe you put in $5,000 or $10,000 to get the matching. And then if you want to put in more, you put it into your Roth. Remember, you can do both per year. So the matching is the best. The Roth is the second best. The traditional IRA is the third best because you totally control it as opposed to a 401k. And then finally, your 401k non-matching or your 403b. That's the, for people in their 20s, the mostly accepted best to worst. A couple other things too. One thing that makes the Roth really good, aside from the tax benefits we'll talk in a second, is you never have to take it out. You never have to have a minimum distribution. The others, the traditional and the 401k, you have to start taking money out of it at age 72. The Roth, you never have to take money off. And in fact, you can will it to your children, so you never even have to touch it. You can just let it keep doubling your whole life. And then if you really love your children, they become millionaires as soon as you die. That's a way to hack the intergenerational wealth. And if you don't like intergenerational wealth, I'm sorry, but this is one of the ways to do it. If you really trust your children and you want them to become ultimate millionaires at age 50, and you want your grandkids to become millionaires, you can become one of those top 1% just by having a maxed out Roth IRA, never taking out from it, and willing it to them. It's, how do you say, pretty impressive. And if you're against family wealth passing down from generation to generation, you don't like that feature. The others you must start taking out at age 72. Okay, so let's talk about tax breaks. Number one, all retirement accounts grow tax-free. Whatever you do inside year to year to your retirement account, whatever you do, the government doesn't tax that. Okay? Not year to year. The growth is not taxed per year, and this is huge. But in addition to that, the government also gives you a tax break, whether up front or when you take it out. One of those twos. Either now you get extra money, or when you take it out, you get a tax break extra money. That's what it comes down to. Okay? By the way, you may be saying, why is the government giving so many tax breaks? Because the government wants you to retire not in poverty. Social Security puts you on the poverty threshold in retirement. The government wants you to retire comfortably. So they give you the ability to retire comfortably yourself by not taxing your accounts. They want you to encourage you to save in your retirement accounts. And so this is the trade-off when pensions went away. This is the deal that the government made with companies. Companies said, we can't afford pensions paying our employees in retirement. And the government said, but we need retirement money. So the government made these accounts to give you rewards for saving. That's the deal, because pensions had to go away in a new global economy. Our companies can't compete with the world if they pay for pensions. And so the government had to step in and say, okay, companies, we will take care of retirement accounts and not tax them and give people breaks. So the government took away the taxes so people can save on their own. So this might get a little complicated. If you don't understand it, that is fine. Just remember, in general, the Roth is usually better. Okay? The only time the Roth is worse is when you have a really high income. And if you have a really high income, you're hiring a really good financial advisor who will tell you. Okay? So the Roth is usually better, period. Here's how it works, and I'm not going to go into why. So the Roth, the individual retirement account Roth, is taxed the money is taxed the year you're put in. You put it in. And everything comes out when you're old tax-free. It's free money coming out with no taxes. The trade-off is you pay taxes when you put it in. Like, for example, this year, if you earn $50,000, let's go through a 20% income tax rate and you pay $10,000 in taxes, which means after taxes, you have $40,000 cash in hand. Well, what you're going to do with that $40,000 is put $6,000 into your Roth. So at the end of the year, you've paid $10,000 in taxes, $6,000 is in your retirement account, and you have $34 in your hand to spend on necessities. This is called paying taxes up front and then putting it in. Now, when that $6,000 in your account comes out in 40 years, no taxes, and no taxes on what it's turned into. That $6,000 will turn into $30,000 when you're 60 years old, and there's no taxes ever on it. Period. Now, the traditional IRA, the traditional and the 401k, you get a tax break now, but you're going to pay taxes on everything when it comes out. So, you earn $50,000 now, and you are going to put $6,000 immediately into your account, which means you have $44,000, and that's what the government taxes. At 20% rate, the government will take $8,800, which means at the end of the year, you have $35,200 in your hand and $6,000 in your account. The Roth, you had $34,000 in your hand and $6,000 in your account. But this $6,000 in your account in 40 years will turn into $30,000. And when you take it out, you will pay taxes on that $30,000. Okay? So the taxes, you get a tax break now, but you pay the taxes later. Many different situations, usually in general, tax-free coming out is better. Talk to your financial planner. Okay, here's some ending miscellaneous thoughts on retirement accounts, okay? When you're starting out, it's going to be real tough to maximize your retirement accounts and save for a major purchase like a first home. If you can't maximize retirement accounts and your saving accounts per year, it might be better to put money into your retirement accounts and use them as your long-term saving. There are ways to get money out of your retirement account without penalty. I don't like to tell people that because the number one mistake is taking money out of your retirement account. But if it comes down to not maximizing your account and splitting it between a savings and retirement, the retirement accounts are so good. You just want to maximize them. Talk to your financial advisor. You can take money out of your retirement account for your first home. And there's some other rules too. So, I mean, like, you really want to make it a priority to get that $6,000 a year in. And it might just be worth it to not save for your first home just to have that $6,000. Now, if you could put $6,000 in per year plus saving for your first home, it might be worth it. But I mean, there is something for your first home. It's really complicated. So you should probably just forget that and say never take any money out of your retirement account. There you go. Here's my opinion. I like established fiduciary financial advisors who own their own company. I get it, especially when the account is small and the fee is small. Banks and credit unions are an option, and they might be actually cheaper. They might offer them as a free service. I'm doing my research right now to find that. I want someone, this is personal, I want someone whose life is on the line, whose business is on the line with my money. So their most important, legally, they have to take care of me, and their most important thing for an independent financial advisor who owns their own company is keeping their business going. Because if they lose their business, they you see what I'm saying? They lose their house, they lose their livelihood. A financial advisor at a bank, if they get fired, they just go find another financial advisor job, you know. So that's just pure opinion, and it's probably cheaper to go through a bank or a credit union and financial advisor there. It's own personal opinion. There are new types of 401k and 403bs that are Roth style, where you get no taxes when it comes out. You pay the taxes now. So there's new types of 401ks and 403bs. There are Roth 401ks and Roth 403bs. But remember the old rule, matching is always better than no taxes coming out. Matching is your best. So whatever it is, go for the matching first and then decide when you want to pay taxes. Okay, so that's an overview of retirement accounts. Okay, there's a couple details in there, and there's so many more details out there, but that's a good first overview. If you forget or don't understand anything about it, get a financial advisor, and remember, start early and start big. All right, thanks for watching.